People are sending me my face on things.
Oh,
Shout out Cavell for the merch.
Be sure to get your VeVe, Ecomi, and Omi merch at CavellAnderson.com. Our primary line will always be available, while our limited edition section will only ever have 100 items total and will never be sold again. Get it while supplies last. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. And in this one, we're going to be focusing on metaverses and Elon Musk warning about metaverses. So this is going to be interesting. I'm curious of hearing some of his warnings, because most stuff that I hear about metaverses I don't really agree with, because usually it all goes back to Meta and Facebook, of course, and people are saying that, oh, he's trying to rule the world and things like that, not really realizing that metaverses are going to be interoperable, meaning that there's not really going to be just one king. There's going to be multiple different companies. They're all more than likely going to be working together to design one big world where everything is all inclusive, kind of like the internet, where it's like, yeah, you have different websites on the internet, but it's all on one internet, and you can go from one place to the other place and things like that. It's like, it's just an extension. Like the Web3 is just advancing what we already have. So people are trying to make metaverses seem like much more than it already is, when in reality, we have been living in metaverses for the longest. It's just they're taking it to the next level where it's now finna look pretty. They're basically changing the aesthetic look of what already has existed for generations. That's what's going on right now. And I think that a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion, thinking that something crazy is going on. So, I mean, it just really takes actually understanding where we're going, what metaverses are, and yeah, how they're actually going to impact the world. It's just information. I think that so many people capitalize and use these fear tactics to get people keep researching into the dark side of this stuff and trying to scare people, because the fact is, fear sells. Fear makes people a lot of money. So if you don't actually understand that everything that's being done has already existed, they're just making it a lot more pretty. If you don't understand it's just as simple as them making it pretty, then it sounds terrifying the way that these videos portray it, when in reality, it's nothing different than what we've already experienced. Now, AI, that's a completely different story. AI is definitely something that I would consider dangerous. But yeah, as far as just metaverses and things like this, people are really just spreading narratives that really don't make sense if you actually understand what a metaverse is designed to do. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into it. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated. And yeah, let's see what Elon has to say about this.
The billionaire tech enthusiast has been warning us for a lot of reasons. The biggest reason he has built the space company SpaceX is also a warning that Earth is going to get destroyed, so humans should be multiplanetary. The CEO has also warned—
It didn't take Elon Musk for us to know that the Earth was going to be destroyed. Like, what do you think that these cars, vehicles, and all the pollution and things like this, what do you think all this stuff does to the world? I mean, everyone knows this stuff is not healthy for the world, and it's like, there's more and more movements trying to save the world, but it's just the humans destroy the world at a bigger rate than anyone could help save it. So eventually things are going to spiral out of control. And we have known this. Everyone knows this information. I don't think, but the thing is, this is why videos like this usually play on people's fears, because it's like, it takes stuff that you already know and makes it seem way bigger than it is. We have been slowly destroying the world for the longest. Right or wrong, who knows? But it's not metaverses that's destroying the world. It's the humans who, for the last decades, for the last generations, that's been destroying the world. So this is really nothing new. But anyway,
warned us about the artificial intelligence, and that it is even more dangerous than nukes. In today's video, you will know that how Elon Musk has warned us about his rival tech enthusiast Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse. But before we get to it, welcome back everyone to Elon Lab, a channel where you get to know all about Elon Musk, SpaceX, and Tesla. If you are new here, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you like the content, appreciate it by giving it a thumbs up and sharing your views in the comments down below. Now, let's get to the video. You may have heard about something called the Metaverse in recent months. Perhaps you've heard that the internet will be replaced by the Metaverse. Maybe we are all meant to live there. Perhaps Facebook is attempting to seize control. Is it possible that it has something to—
The Facebook is trying to seize control. Basically, metaverses, he just said metaverses is going to take over the internet, and Facebook is trying to take control over the internet. That's like saying Facebook is trying to take control over the blockchain. It's like, this is all going to be no, it's not going to be controlled by any one entity. It's just not. It's going to be something that everyone in the world is participating in, and there's going to be a lot of different players involved in this. So it's not going to be a Facebook rules all type of thing. It's not.
To do with NFTs? But what's really happening here is that Facebook Incorporated, under fire from regulators and lawmakers over its business practices, is planning to rebrand itself with a new name that focuses on the metaverse. Now, to just a common user of Facebook or a layman, it may look like a souped-up version of virtual reality or VR. But some people think the metaverse could be the future of the internet. To be more general, if you are tired of being at home and can't even go outside, you can spend your day as an avatar going to parties on remote islands, boarding a yacht, or flying in a rocket, as if you were obscenely wealthy. And all this just by entering the metaverse and wearing a headset and gear that blocks out the real world. Indeed, it is thought that it might be a VR, what the present smartphone is to the 1980s cumbersome mobile phones. Instead of using a computer, you may use a headset to visit a virtual world that connects many digital worlds in the metaverse. Unlike existing VR, which is
So he basically just said it connects many digital worlds. So that literally just takes out Facebook being this huge dominant force if it's designed to connect multiple different worlds. It literally, based on what he just said, negates the argument that Facebook's trying to take over, or Facebook is going to take over, or is that it's going to be possible for someone to take over. Obviously, there's going to be someone some company that is more than likely the biggest in the space, whoever has the best metaverse, whoever has the quality. It has to be there. It has to draw in people's attention. It has to have that retention. And yeah, like, does Facebook understand human behavior and people and what people want to see and enjoy? Yeah, but I mean, it's just that it's going to be multiple different players.
Mostly utilized for gaming, this virtual environment might be used for anything: work, play, concerts, movie trips, or simply hanging out. Billionaire Facebook boss Mark Zuckerberg called it the next version of the internet, and said this isn't about spending more time in screens. It's about making the time we already spend better.
Making the time we already spend better. So if that's not something that you understand, basically you use Twitter, you use YouTube and stuff like this. You do all of the stuff that you do on the internet for free. What metaverses are going to do is introduce jobs and introduce ways, like you can see projects, NFT projects like Axie Infinity and things like that, where people can play video games for money. You can get paid to play video games and stuff like this. So basically metaverses, NFTs, and all of this stuff is going to allow people to actually generate money and income and provide for their families using the same technology we've been using from the beginning. They're just making it easier to monetize it, for the average person to monetize. So this really does good for a lot of just regular people. People are making it seem as though this is all for billionaires, as if billionaires they have enough money to where they don't want to be spending all their time in a metaverse. They can enjoy the real life benefits without even going into a metaverse. Like, this is really a huge opportunity for poor people. But that's not the narrative that's being told. People don't want, like, the thing is, the reason that these fear tactics work is because they don't want the poor to actually realize what's happening right now. This is the biggest transfer of wealth in human history. So if people start, if the average working class person starts to realize, yo, this is an opportunity for me to change my life and my family's life for generations. If more people start to realize this, then the workforce loses workers. So nobody wants that. That's why these videos exist. These videos exist for it to become a trend to hate metaverses, because it's inevitable. You're going to end up on a metaverse regardless. But the longer it takes, the longer these companies have workers, the longer you can keep being used to make other people richer without actually realizing that there's opportunity right now that can change your life forever. Because the fact of the matter is, it's going to be a certain point in the metaverse where it's going to be the working class there as well, and the poor people in metaverses as well. And right now you have the chance to build wealth in a metaverse. These opportunities won't always be so easy. So the people there from the beginning are going to be the ones rewarded the biggest. And I mean, if you're poor in real life, it's going to get to a point where you're just going to be another poor person forced to work in a metaverse. That's just how it goes. So changing your mindset and educating yourself is very, very important early on. like really being open, keeping an open mind to really actually understand everything that's going on.
Speaking to journalists, including The Sun, Meta's VR boss, Andrew Bosworth, said, "The metaverse is a set of virtual 3D spaces where you can share immersive experiences with each other when you can't be together. This all is really a broad idea. The metaverse will have loads of experiences, including games, social networks, videos, shopping, health and fitness, and more. Sounds interesting, right?" Now, why would the billionaire tech enthusiast Elon Musk warn about such a thing? Dr. David Reed, professor of AI and spatial computing at Liverpool Hope University, thinks it will change our lives, just like the internet did. He said the metaverse has a huge implication. It comes with fantastic advantages and terrifying dangers. He's also concerned about the possible hazards. The AI expert is concerned about the massive amount of data that can be assessed through hacking. He also worries that avatars might be hacked, putting you in contact with hackers instead of individuals you know and trust. The metaverse.
I mean, so basically, they're talking about the stuff that already exists. All your information is already on the internet. It's already on all these different social networks. It's already there. They're talking about stuff being hacked. Companies get hacked today. Like all of this stuff is already happening. They're talking about it's going to be made easier or something through metaverses. It's basically nothing changes. Nothing really changes. It's just being packaged as, oh, metaverses is going to be the cause of this when this stuff has been happening already.
Metaverse's ultimate goal is mixed reality, not merely virtual reality or mixed reality, MR. It's about integrating the digital and physical worlds. This blend may eventually be so good and pervasive that the virtual and real worlds become indistinguishable. And there's a huge demand for that. Whoever has hold of it has influence over your entire reality.
Whoever has hold of it. So if they just said the metaverse and the real world is going to be indistinguishable, the reason that stuff is we're going decentralized is because people don't want to be controlled by governments and things like that. So they're trying to, crypto and stuff is getting big because it's a space that's not controlled by anyone. Like there's no one controlling it. Now, obviously there's some people with money control everything, but as decentralized as possible is the goal that everyone is going for. So it just really doesn't make sense saying that, oh, people are trying to control this when it's going to be multiple different players and it's not going to just be something that one person can flip a switch and control everything and stuff like that. That's not what's happening. It's just not.
This is some really advanced use of artificial intelligence. Now, Elon Musk shares some top concerns related to the artificial intelligence. Musk told the New York Times in an interview, just the nature of the AI that they're building is one that crushes all humans at all games. I mean, it's basically the plotline of war games. He told in an interview that it needs to be a public body that has insight and then oversight to confirm that everyone is developing AI safely. This is extremely important. I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot, and nobody would suggest that we allow anyone to build nuclear warheads if they want. That would be insane. And mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far. So why do we have no regulatory oversight? This is insane. He also said that there should be a regulation about such advanced systems because of the threats they pose. The threats that Professor Reed has also warned us about. He said, we need a highly robust system in place to police the metaverse. We're clearly in the very early stages, but we need to start talking about these problems now.
I mean, but this guy is building, I mean, it's just kind of hypocritical if he said all this, because he's building cars that literally drive people to where they need to go automatically. Like if you're like, the dangers in that, like you can literally hack someone's GPS, you can hack someone's Tesla and send them to a location that they were not trying to go to, and you can make the GPS say that they're going to the location that's familiar to them, but end up taking them somewhere to, like, let's say a killer controls it and brings them to where he wants to meet them at. It's like you could argue that people shouldn't be allowed to be doing what he's doing. It's just, anything can be used in a bad way. Anything can be used in a bad way. That does not mean that everything that he's doing, everything being done at Tesla, should that have to be made public as well? Just because it can be used in a sinister way? It's like everything can be used in a sinister way. But I agree that AI can definitely be dangerous. It can be something, and it's something that should be regulated. I don't think that it should necessarily be public, but I think that there should maybe be a a group dedicated to, but what group can we actually trust that can't be bought, that can't be manipulated, things like this? Who can be trusted to even regulate these things and make sure that nothing is being built and designed that really could try to take over the world? Because I'm watching the 100 right now. And if you've watched the 100, Allie literally is designed to protect the human race. And her way of protecting the human race was to kill billions of people. And I mean, that because of AI, it's not about, it's just, no, it was to protect the planet. In order to protect the planet, humans is obvious, it's always the biggest problem. So most AI are going to come to that same conclusion. It's a reason that movies portray it that way, because in reality, we all know we are the biggest danger to this world. So yeah, I mean, it's dangerous, but just trying to make this is not really a solution. Like these dangers have been here.
Before we go down a route we can't reverse away from, it's crucial for the future. Musk called out regulatory oversight of artificial intelligence too in July, speaking to the National Governors Association. AI is a rare case where I think we need to be proactive in regulation rather than be reactive. According to a research note published by the China Institute of Contemporary International Relations, which is affiliated with China's Ministry of State Security, while the metaverse is still in its early stages of development, its technological characteristics and development patterns show that it has potential national security significance. The metaverse, for example, would become part of the country's political trend of thought, as well as its society and culture, and will exercise subtle effect on a country's political and cultural security, according to the report. New social issues may arise as a...
Isn't that like Cambridge Analytica, where like people are controlling, like what social media is controlling and influencing things and stuff like that? I mean, this stuff is already happening. It's not, like I said, it's not, this stuff is not meta-based verse. Everybody's just trying to throw it on the metaverses with the problems that's already existed from the beginning. These are security issues. This is stuff that needs to be handled from a security perspective, not stopping progress because of the downsides of creating. There's going to be downsides to every bit of progress. It's just finding ways to make sure the downsides are being addressed, finding groups to hold these companies and stuff accountable to make sure that they're doing what's best for their people. So for the people and the users of the platforms and stuff.
The result of the metaverse. They said that its highly immersive experience might harm teenagers' development, that it could be exploited by lawbreakers to create addictive digital drugs, and that it could cause certain people to disconnect from reality.
You mean like video games, right? You mean like that? Literally, that just sounds like you just described video games. All video games. Like the people can say that halts growth, and it's highly addicting. Like people play games all day, every day. It sounds like television, right? Highly addicting, all these series and stuff like that. Why do you have episodes, like 800 episodes of certain animes and things like that? Should anime be stopped too? 800 episodes is ridiculous. After watching 800 episodes of demons getting slayed, like, do you think that causes a positive impact on the person watching it? Like, come on now. It's just, you can say negative things about anything, literally anything.
According to the Chinese researchers, a metaverse crosses national borders. Its problems and challenges will become potential topics for future international politics. There might be regulatory gaps in areas such as anti-money laundering, sanctions, financial supervision, and intellectual property rights protection. And this will drive the international community to explore cooperation. And just like that, Elon Musk, along with Professor Reed and many other experts, the Chinese also think that with the risks involved with the metaverse, it is necessary for the government organizations to make regulations for that. After this, at least my all excitement is vanishing away. But let me tell you more about it.
I mean, but that goes back to a different argument. You want the governments to control it. The governments is why people are trying to get away from in crypto. So you want them to, like, the whole point of crypto, people don't trust the governments, yet you're trying to get them to control people's way of trying to take their freedom back. It's kind of weird. It's like, who can you really trust to control these things? And that's the thing. People are so worried about control when in reality, this really is just a bunch of, it is the business. It's similar to Ready Player One, actually. the businesses are going to be the ones in control, but it's not just going to be a business unless one is just super dominant. It's going to be multiple, many businesses. So, I mean, yeah, that's just my perspective.
Talking about the concept of this technology, it dates back to the early 1990s. According to The Verge, Neil Stephenson famously coined the term metaverse in his 1992 novel Snow Crash, where it referenced a 3D virtual world inhabited by avatars of real people. Lots of other science fiction media includes metaverse-like systems, but Stevenson's book remains one of the most common reference points for metaverse enthusiasts, along with Ernest Cline's 2011 novel Ready Player One. The concept was recently revealed by the Facebook CEO. The idea became public a day after Bill Gates' 66th birthday. The idea caught a lot of attention. We've grown accustomed to using Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams, and other communication tools to provide us with virtual communication throughout the pandemic. The metaverse, on the other hand, can take this a step further by providing users with a virtual office space that makes it feel like they are all in the same room. Where the idea has attracted the common users, the experts are skeptical about it. Another potential critic of the metaverse is...
And it also is amazing that we have so many experts on a space that's never existed in human history. I always find it fascinating that experts say certain things where, how are you an expert on something that has never existed before? Like, how can you possibly know the effects of something that has never happened? Or like, because it sounds to me like, oh, people are going to abuse this. People are going to do this. This is the stuff that people are going to do. People are going to find a way to abuse anything. So if anything, it seems to me like you should be an expert in psychology and be helping cure the people who have mindsets where they're trying to destroy everything. That seems like an evil mindset to me, and it sounds like a person problem more so than a technology problem. Because if you fix the minds of the people it's participating in these worlds and things like that, you don't have to worry about these things being done. But the reason that you always have to worry about this stuff being done is because people will find a way to abuse anything. It does not matter rules, regulations, or any of that. People who want to do sinister things find a way to do sinister things. That's just how it is. So yeah, man.
Roger McNamee, an early investor in Facebook, who has since become scathing of the company's direction in recent years. He told BBC that Facebook should not be allowed to create a dystopian metaverse. He added, Facebook should have lost the right to make its own choices. A regulator should be there giving pre-approval for everything they do. The amount of harm they've done is uncalculable. The India Times...
I think that anything that does good is going to cause harm. Because the fact of the matter is everything causes harm. So when you have like even just simple crypto videos like you'll find on this channel and any other channel, us sharing our opinions about the things that we're doing in our own lives, if people follow it and it works out, that impacts their life. But if people follow what we're doing and it impacts their life negatively, that does harm. You don't even have to tell, like it's not our fault that some people find us valuable enough to mirror their lives off of. It's just something that happens. So anything can be harmful. It's just weird that these narratives get believed where everything is being painted to just metaverses. It's kind of weird that that's even believable.
Stated that the metaverse is at once an illustration of and a distraction from a broader and more troubling turn in the history of capitalism. The world's techno-billionaires are forging a new kind of capitalism, Muskism. Mr. Musk, who likes to troll his rivals, mocked Mr. Zuckerberg's metaverse. But from missions to Mars and the moon to the metaverse, it's all Muskism, extreme extraterrestrial capitalism, where stock prices are driven less by earnings than by fantasies from science fiction. With that, we have come to the end of this video. What do you...
So yeah, I mean, this is just a changing in age and changing in what people find valuable and why people are willing to invest in things. And I think that this is just a change in mindset. More people look towards the future than ever before because we can see full plans and roadmaps and things that makes us believe in it. Like people believing in things has always existed. Look at religion. Like there's so many things that's just always existed, and metaverses, crypto, all of this stuff is just a new age of stuff that's already existed before. So yeah, if all these dangers are existing now, they all existed before, but it was never made this type of a big deal, and people didn't like. If you would have solved these problems generations ago, we wouldn't be struggling with these exact same problems anytime technological advances happen. But let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. That's pretty much it, yo. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated, and yeah, I'm gonna catch you all in the next one. Peace out, yo.